Hi, I'm Cassidy, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about my cross-stitch hobby, also known as Flosstube. Not floss as in dentistry, but floss as in embroidery floss that is used in the embroidery arts. It is Wednesday, March 5th. I had to look at my notes. Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. It's a rainy day here in southern Indiana, and so I got my ring light going. I don't know about lighting and all that, so it's just going to turn out how it's going to turn out. Here's a picture of my dogs. They're all sleeping right now. Probably not going to be a current picture of them sleeping, but I just like showing them off because they're just really cute. Their names are Guts, Winks, and Trine. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that I lost my wedding ring and I found it. So I am once again married. We don't really wear our wedding rings. You know, we've been together over 10 years and married for 5, and it's just like, who cares, right? I mean, some people care, but we just don't really care. And we don't like wearing our rings to work and stuff, so but he forgot that he had found it a couple months ago on the floor and had put it next to his wedding ring that he doesn't use, that he doesn't wear either. So the next time he went to go find his wedding ring, he found mine as well. So he then remembered that he had found it on the floor. So crisis averted, because it is, you know, like an over 100-year-old ring, and that would have been devastating to lose, which is kind of another reason I don't like wearing it, because it is so old. Again, I'm going to be reading off my notes down here, so if I look down, because I will forget 75% of what I want to say, because my brain sucks. Anything else I want to say before I get started? I don't think so. So I will try and talk about what each thing means that I say, like an acronym or something, because I would assume if you're watching this video, you know Flosstube and cross-stitch, but if you don't, I'll try and add in what the things are. It can kind of be hard because we just all know what it is, but if you have any questions, then you can put it down in the comment box and I will answer it. So the normal format is, the first section is FFOs. FFO stands for fully finished object. So like a project that you have finished and it's in its final form. I don't have any of those today. And if you watched my last video, in the plans section, I was supposed to finish something in February. Should say that this video is going to cover all of my stitchy stuff from February. I was supposed to finish the Briar by sprouting Lupine, and for an art exhibition that was fantasy themed. And I didn't make the deadline. The last week in February, I worked 6 days in a row, and I was also reading a lot, so I didn't stitch any that week, so it did not get done and submitted, but it's no big deal. So the next section is usually finishes. That would be a project that you have finished, but it hasn't made it into its final form yet. I don't have any of those this time either. And excuse me as I scroll on my notes. The next section is starts. So this is the section where I show the things I started in February. So the first project is from this book called Magickal Cross-Stitch by Tusk and Cardinal. And the pattern is called Wheel of the Year. trusty clipboard, and this is how far I got on it. I am stitching this on 16 count black Aida with 2 strands, and I started it February 9th. So I think that was the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl or Superb Owl, I wanted to start something on the Super Bowl that had an owl on it. And if you watch my last video, it was going to be a different pattern. And I was flipping through this book because I often forget that I have books with patterns in it. And I was like, I need to start something and have something going from this book at all times. And so, shoot, I don't have it. Oh, I opened up right to it. This one has an owl. So I decided to start it, and let me pick it up back up. I'm a mess. I actually decided to start a SAL for this, and I will explain it later in plans, so stick around for that if you want to join and stitch this pattern with me. What else? Oh, I also need to mention Dungeons in Progress. This is a whip game that I am playing from, that was kind of come up with in the Discord from the designer Lil Stabbies. And I'll put up like all the rules. It's really a like make your own rules type of situation, but I'll put up all the rules, and then the premise is you have 20 different slots of tasks that you want to do. My task is just getting 3 stitchy days in for that week, and the task is chosen by rolling a 20-sided die. So it's D&D themed related, and then you're trying to, you know, kill this monster and stuff. But so this was a roll for week 2 of February, and I roll every Sunday, and then you roll for damage in order to kill the monster. But so I don't have 20 whips, so some of the slots are new starts. So week 2 I rolled for a new start, and so I started this. Okay, next new start for February is The Plant Witch by Quaternion Creations from this book, The Emerging Queendom. I'm not gonna butcher any names. I tried to look up how they say their names and I didn't. I saw some videos, but they just say Paige and Maria. So this book, Maria does all of the cross-stitch designs, and Paige writes all the short stories. So it was kind of a collaboration. It came with really cool swag too. So there's this bookmark. Also came with art prints and stickers, and this was a really cool touch. A postcard. Maria is from Estonia. So here is The Plant Witch. You can kind of see where the story starts. In each story / chapter, even though they're all related, what am I trying to say? Oh, each chapter has its own pattern. So I started The Plant Witch. This is also part of a SAL that they're doing in their Facebook. They're starting a new pattern each month. So March is this pattern. And then they kind of give you like a behind the scenes type situation, but I chose this pattern and started in February along with the SAL because it reminded me of my bestie, and so I made some changes on the floss colors to kind of fit more with her skin tone and her hair color. I'm not very good at changing colors and stuff, so I did my best. So I don't know, hopefully it turns out okay. So this is stitched on an 18 count hand-dyed Aida. This is from I participated in a stitchy swap on another Discord run by Amanda from Bad Stitch, and so I can't remember what LNS the gifter went to, but I said in my thing that I really wanted to like support local businesses, so she went to her LNS and picked up some stuff there, and I'm stitching this with 1 strand on this 18 count, and I started this February 16th. Get closer. This book that this pattern is from is available online, and I think there are also PDF. I will try and link everything down in the description of whether it's a book or a designer's website or Patreon or whatever. So if anyone is interested, you can easily find it. So my next new start for March is, I'll put a picture up there. It is called Little Owl's Night from Jen's Fiberweb, who is a floss tuber here on YouTube. And this is a 14 count opalescent black Ada. It's from the Witch's Garden Crafts, and I think there's supposed to be some modeling. You can kind of see it down here. I think you can at least. But it's just a really dark, I don't think it's available anymore, but so for all intents and purposes, we're just going to call it black, because it was actually called Midnight, which kind of goes in with the Little Owl's Night theme. I started this, lost my place, March 2nd, so this is just the other day. Whenever I was watching one of her videos, I kind of tune in and out, so sometimes I miss stuff, sometimes I catch stuff, but I caught that her birthday was in March, and I didn't catch the date, and that she said she would really like if people stitch her little free pattern. I think she said this is the first one that she has designed, so I don't know when her birthday was, but I started this once it turned to March. This hurts my eyeballs because of all the glittery and dark fabric is just hard to stitch on in general. But it's small and we're getting through it, so. Okay. Sorry if I do that a lot. I noticed that from my last video where I go a lot. I'm trying to not. Okay, the next section is whips. So whips means work in progress, and that means obviously like these are whips too, but you know, those were started in the last month or from in the time between the last video and this video, and these whips could have been started like years ago, which you'll see from my first whip. So this is also from a book from Tusk and Cardinal. This is called Creepy Cross-Stitch. Let's see. This is called Welcoming Committee. It's pretty self-explanatory on why I chose this, because there's a dog. I'm a huge dog person. So this one is one of my oldest whips. I started this in October of 2022. And I rolled for this for the Dungeons in Progress. I rolled for this during week one of February. This is a 14 count black Ada, 2 strands. I set it down because it was kind of around the time I was getting back into the stitchy world, and so I only knew 14 count, you know, from the from the craft stores. And so then when I learned of new counts and to higher counts where the holes are, or the yeah, the holes are closer together and the stitches are smaller. I was like, 14 count, never returning. But it is, since I have returned to it to work on older whips, I'm like, this is a nice, easy breath of fresh air. I don't have to concentrate so hard, and the holes are easy to find. As you can see, I only stitch on Ada. Hopefully I'll get the nerve to start on like a linen or Lugana or even weave or whatever, that whole world. Just seems like a lot of extra counting, but we'll see. So anything else I want to say about this one? I do not think so. Oh, I was going to add like pictures of where I was before. So if I do that, I'll have added it already. And there's no way I'm gonna remember what that picture looks like, and what I've done. Some of y'all just like remember all of this stuff, like, oh, since the last time I've added this and this. Well, I know I've added some up here, but maybe I'll add that to my notes. Okay, so the next is, I'll put a picture up here, is the Briar by Sprouting Lupine. And I'll put a picture of where it was last time you saw it, because both of these were in the last video. This is a 18 count Rustico Ada with 1 strand. Clearly didn't get close to finishing it like I wanted to, but that's fine. I started it January 19th of this year, and I rolled for it for Dungeons in Progress during week 3, and I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. Actually, there's a backstory. So I rolled on that Sunday for a different pattern called Lover's Graves, and I was like, I don't want to work on it. I actually need to work on this, but I also didn't want to work on the other one. And so it got to be Tuesday, and I hadn't worked on it. Usually I at least start on whatever pattern I roll for, I start on Sunday. And so I went to go look for it in the place where I keep my whips, and I couldn't find it. And then I was like, that's it. I'm gonna re-roll. I probably could have looked a little bit harder in a different area and found it, but I was like, that's all my brain needed to re-roll. And so I actually re-rolled for this, which is what I needed to be working on, and I still didn't get it done. You know, just one of those things. Life happens. I don't think there's anything else about that one. Okay. My last whip that I worked on in February. I'll put up a picture of what it is supposed to look like and where I was last time, hopefully. Last time so I recently learned how to edit, and last time whenever I added pictures into the videos, it would only do square pictures, which might be a problem because I'll have to screenshot from my last video where I was, and I don't know if I'll be able to get square pictures out of that, so hopefully I'll figure it out. And if not, then there will not have been pictures of what it was last time you saw it. So this is a really big piece of fabric. This is a 20 count Ada, hand dyed by Fiber on a Whim, called Brown Sugar. And let's see, oh boy. Okay. And I'll probably get crucified for hanging threads, but you know, whatever. I started it in a weird area down here because I really wanted this light flower right here in this light area, because there are like stitches missing in the petals, so you can like see the fabric through. So I wanted that to be in the lightest part possible. So I could probably cut a lot of this off. I started this January 31st of this year, and I'm using 1 strand. So I think I have some frogging to do right here, because I was kind of just going off of, you know, what I had done, and I think I had gone a little bit too far right here, so I'll have to frog that. But I recently got a stitching stand that someone recommended in their video. I think it was Frizzy Lizzy Stitches. And so I went to the Etsy, ordered it immediately, and this project I used on it when I first tried it out, and did the whole two-handed thing, and so it's a bit of a learning curve, but I think I really like it. It'll make stitching faster. So, okay. You probably didn't notice, but there was no Dungeons and Progress week 4 project because, like I said earlier, I failed. I didn't stitch at all the last week of February. And so I'm just going to use that project as my first project of March. And so I rolled for Femurs and Fungi by Fine Frog Stitching. And it's kind of cool because she came out with another SAL. I forgot to say that that one was a SAL that I did not keep up with because, of course, that's just what happens. And she came out with another SAL that kind of has similar style frames. And so that, in my mind, I saw that and I was like, I need to work on Femurs and Fungi. And so I rolled for it. So I'm glad to be able to get some progress on that. I did stitch yesterday, and I had started one, that little Owl's Night. So I'm back to stitching. I did read a little bit last night. We to get into books a tiny bit, my best friend and I are reading the Fourth Wing series together, and we were basically at the same part in Iron Flame for a while, and then I was like, I need to get back to stitching, and so I stopped reading, and she kept reading, and she's like, I really need you to read so I can talk to someone about this. And so I'm almost done with Iron Flame. She's already all the way through Onyx Storm, so that just went down the drain. Life. But anyway, so the next section is Stitchy Kindness, and I have some here. So like I said, I am part of the Discord run by Amanda from Bad Stitch, and so she had access to addresses that from everyone that was involved in the gift exchange, and so she sent little Valentine's cards, and it was a surprise, and it was so cute. We all love bats in that, not everyone, but it's a huge theme. And then I won't show you what she wrote, but she sent one of her stickers. What is this called? I don't know, not iridescent, something. This is called something. And so here's my thread storage where I have some stickers from some of my favorite designers and creators in the space. So I actually have one of her other stickers, so this would be cool to add to the collection. Do I have any on the side? So there's that. And then another male Stitchy Kindness, another bat. There is a person in the Discord from Australia. Their screen name is Lumi, and they put up a post and asked if anyone wanted some Stitchy Kindness mail. This was from a museum that they went to. And so I can show this. And they said, please give Guts, Trine, and Wink some reps for me. And so this prompted some of us getting together and kind of creating, well, someone else who is better with technology created a Google sheet where you can put your name and your address. And so whenever you're like out and about, or you like go somewhere and you see some postcards, you can pick up some and then send them to your Stitchy friends who are also on that list. So I'm like really excited about it because I have some trips planned this year. So there's like 10 or 11 of us on the list. So I'm excited to send out some Stitchy Kindness mail myself. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is a giveaway that I'm going to do next time, because I need to like order my thoughts on, you know, the whole like, don't say free, don't say blah 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 in the comments. So the pattern designer Donna at Stitch X Love on their Instagram made a story saying, I think they thrift a lot, and they were like, do any floss tubers want me to send you some stuff to give away on your videos? And I was like, me. And then I completely dropped the ball on being a floss tuber. I posted one whip parade in the middle of last year, and then I just like ghosted. But now that I am back and hopefully posting the beginning of every month, at least sometime during the first week of every month, I'm going to do this giveaway of the things that they sent me. So the first item is this Water Lilies by Karen silk floss. Is silk called floss? I don't know. I'm not well versed in the fancy flosses. This is 108 Antique Rose. This pretty variegated gray purple. Is it focusing? I can't see. You tell me. So next are these Bent Creek Snappers, the red thread. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the wreath and what's called connected. It's a cute little holiday, and of course I'm doing it after the holidays, but oh well. And it comes with the little, and I guess that's why it's called snappers, because it comes with a little snap that you can add to the pattern. The snowman is over here by a snowflake, and then this one is in the bird. Okay. Then the next one is a DMC. Just gonna flash it real quick. It's like a border sampler with a alphabet. And then there's another sampler type situation. And this is Province Sampler designed by Butternut Road. So I'll just flash that real quick. And then the last one, which I thought was really cute, Christmas Meow by Alessandra Adelaide Needleworks. Look at that cute cat. Kind of vintagey, I don't know, mid-century modern. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. And it actually comes with an old 310. So come back for the next video if you are interested, and I'm just going to send it out as one lot, and I'll get my crap together and think of all the words I need to say. then I'll send that out to whoever wins, and that's the next video. Okay, I think, ooh, plan section. Oh my gosh, I have a whole other section. For plans for March, like I said, the first week for Dungeons in Progress, I am going to do Femurs and Fungi by Fine Frog Stitching. March Pick-a-Wip, that is hosted by Marjorie Maid here on Flosstube. The 2 prompts for March are, lost my place on my friend pick and dark fabric or dark floss. And so for friend pick, I posted in the Bad Stitch Discord and asked for people to vote on what I should work on. And the most votes was Unhinged by Stitch Tits, and I'll put the pattern up there. I started this in July of last year for a SAL called #UnhingedStitchersClub, and it was a SAL run by Ali Z Crafty, who is also here on Flosstube, and then Misfit Stitches. So my stitchy friends chose it because it seemed like it would be like a quick win, but I was looking at it, I was like, people underestimate or overestimate how fast I can get things done. So I don't know if I'll be getting that done, but I sure am gonna try. And then the art gallery that I usually have a project going for, the exhibitions, the next one is recycled materials, so I don't foresee me doing anything for that. Last year, or the last time we had it a few years ago, I made plastic yarn and cross-stitched on a chicken wire, so I'll put a picture up there if I can find it. So I don't have anything that I need to start or finish for that yet. And I will go back into the Wheel of the Year SAL. So whenever I started this, I got to thinking about, you know, what section I was gonna do after doing the moon. And then I was like, well, I'll just do each section in the time frame that it is. This is like pagan holidays. I'm not well versed on what they are. I mean, Yule would be that one. That's pretty normal. This section, nope, wrong way. This section is Imbolc, and I'm sorry if I butcher any of these. And so I missed the actual celebration. The next section is Ostera, probably butchering it. But this celebration is March 20th. So I want to get this section done by March 20th. And then I'll get this start this section and then get it done by the celebration for the next section. So that'll be like really, really easy. And then I was like, maybe someone else would want to do this with me. And it would be really easy to catch up. And it would be easy to keep up with throughout the year. And you can honestly start at any time with whatever section you start, whatever celebration is going on. So the hashtag for that is Wheel of the Year SAL. Pretty sure. I'll put up the picture of the post that I made on Instagram. So if you want to join, that's the hashtag for it. Okay, the last section that I want to do is my pattern corner. I'm not going to do a haul per se, because if I buy fabric or anything, you'll just see it whenever I stitch on it, right? And I usually say I don't do fancy flosses, but I did buy the Night Garden palette from the Nashville. I'll get into all of that whenever it comes, but so instead I do accumulate a lot of patterns because that's its whole separate hobby, you know, pattern hoard. So I'm going to show all of the patterns that I've added to my pattern hoard. I mean, it's not like a huge amount, but it might influence you. If you see something you like, you might want to add it to your pattern hoard. And I'll add all of the information in the description box. So the first pattern that I acquired in February was Bearded Wizard by Mama Witch Xstitch. I'll add all the pictures here. And I got this on Etsy. My best friend has a bearded dragon named Taco. And so I saw this and I was like, I have to do it for her. Even though I haven't finished her birthday present from last year, from January of last year. It'll get done sometime. And this one, I haven't even started it, but we'll see when I start it. Hopefully in the time frame of when the bearded dragon lives. I don't know how long they're supposed to live, but so the next pattern is called Crow and the Hawthorn by Bad Stitch. This is from their Patreon this month. They have a new Patreon pattern available on the 15th of every month, so this one is still available until the 15th. Next is Balance and Energy, Anatomical Chakras, and this is by the Sewing Starfish on Etsy. And I just like anatomical, like science-y things, so I don't know if I'll add the chakra part whenever I do this, but I thought that this would be kind of fun and science-y. Fits in with my interests, so I bought that. And then next is Sewing Love by Snailfish's Stitches on Etsy. So this one's a really cute. I really like small patterns because I am really slow when it comes to stitching, and so small, right down my alley, because it'll take me forever. Like, it takes a long time to do a big pattern for normal people, so it'll just take me an even a longer amount of time. So I have learned that I should probably stick to the smaller things. Next is The Secret Grove SAL by NeedleLot Designs, and I'll link their website. Part 6 came out, and SAL can be stitch along, start along, or stash along, and it's a stash along for me for right now. Maybe I'll start it, I don't know, or maybe I'll just like take a chunk out of it, because like that little, like, I mean, the owl's cute, like each little animal by itself is cute. So next is Vinegar Valentines by Uncommon Needlecraft. This is a freebie on Kofi, I think is how you say it. I think there's an F word on one of them, so that's down my alley. Next is Chicken Grandpa by Lola Crow. This is on their website, and I know I've mentioned my best friend a lot, but her son loves T-Rexes, and they have chickens. So I saw this and I was like, that's perfect. So hopefully by the time he still likes T-Rexes, I can get this done as a present for his room. Next is The Last Ascent by Urban Stitches on Patreon. This is a black work. If you're like me, you were slightly obsessed with the anglerfish that rose to the surface, however recent that was. And so I saw this and I was like, I need to have that. So I need to start it actually, so that it's not like moments over, you know. So, also on there was Grimoire Spells and Rituals, was also available for that month of Patreon. I think it's still available. I don't know when I added it. I don't know. You can look on there, see if it's still available. The next is Witchy Teapot by Mama Witch Xstitch on her Patreon. And I joined that one because of this next pattern. So they had 2 available for that month. And the next one is Stitcher Mantra, which was off of a graphic that they had made, I think, and then they made it into a pattern, and it's about like stitching on Black Ada, and I just thought it was really cute. So next is Samhain Garden Witch by the Witchy Stitcher. This was the pattern for March. Just look at it. I mean, that's really cool. I probably changed the pumpkins to something else because I'm not a huge pumpkin person. But I just love witchy things, and sometimes I'm a member of her Patreon, sometimes I'm not. She doesn't mind if people like come in and out of it. So whenever I see something I like, then I'll subscribe. And next is A Familiar Mouse by the Stitch Crypt on their Patreon. So this just came out at the beginning of the month. They're doing, every month they do a different familiar, like witchy familiar. And I really resonate with this mouse because recently we had kind of like an influx of mice. And so, plug your ears, but there was sort of a mouse murder apocalypse here in my house. Thankfully they're like not a problem anymore, but so when this came out I was like, how fitting, right? So the next pattern is actually a freebie on the Bad Stitch Patreon. It was an old one of her patterns. It's called It Smells Weird in Here, and I think I really want to do this one because I'm always worried that it does smell weird in here, you know, because of dogs. I'm always worried it just smells like dogs, and it probably does, and that's just my life, but I am like always worried. Or that there's another smell that I don't know is there because I've just gotten accustomed to it. But so if I stitch that and just have it on the wall, then that just takes care of it. Not that very many people come over in order to read it, but the next one is, gosh, I need to take a drink. Almost at the end of the video. Not sponsored, but this new flavor from Red Bull, the best. It is the best flavor that they've ever come out with. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna have to stockpile because if this doesn't become one of their like regular flavors, I'll be very sad. Where was I? Oh, literally on the last pattern. Pokemon Energy by Sarithri, and this is a freebie on their Patreon. I really like Pokemon. I kind of never learned how to play, but Eevee is my favorite. I mean, they're just cute, so like, how can you not like Pokemon? So, I downloaded those just in case I ever get the urge to maybe make like a Pokemon. I mean, surely one of these days I will stitch an Eevee from somebody, but anyway, that's all I have for stitchy stuff. I don't really share anything else other than my cross-stitch stuff. I could share books, and I obviously did share a few minutes of books early in the video, but just not going to. I don't like book reviews. I never write book reviews. I never read book reviews. I'm just like, you know, if I Book Talk. If I see it on Book Talk, usually I'll pick it up, but I ebb and flow with reading also. Like, I'll go into huge slumps and then not read for months. And anyway, I kind of thought it would be fun to end every video with a t-shirt, because I have a lot of stitchy t-shirts, and so I want to share my stitchy t-shirts. So the one I'm wearing today is by Xstitch. I followed them kind of when I first got into seeing stitchy stuff on Instagram, and had inspired me to start stitching again. They had, I guess, merch of their social media presence, and they create patterns too. And so this one really looked like a band t-shirt, so I thought it was really cool. So you got the scissors and the needle, and it says, "Stick a needle in my eye." Seems very band shirty, so yeah. And I mean, I have quite a few t-shirts, but if I run out of t-shirts, then don't tell my bank account, but I'll just buy more t-shirts to share, and then I will be adding to my collection, and it's up for a reason, so no one can say anything about it. So I think that's all I have to say. I never really plan the end of my videos, so I guess I will end with kind of what I said last time is, I hope you get a lot of good stitchy time in. The world is worlding, and not in a good way. And so I think we need to take care of our mental health and steal pockets of joy where we can. And so if that means stitching, if that means reading, crocheting, or if you don't have any of that, then start a hobby. So, because we cannot doom scroll. I need to not doom scroll. So, anyway, like I said, I'm going to post the first week of each month, and so I will see y'all then. Bye.